Good morning. It's the 1st of July. I'm outside on my porch. It's a wonderful morning. And I've been thinking all morning about what to do with these devotions as we continue them. I've decided to switch tracks a little bit since they are supposed to be devotional. That would indicate to me that they ought to come out of Scripture. So we're going to dive into the Gospel of Matthew. And I'm picking it up in chapter 5 and beginning at verse 17. We already did the Beatitudes a while back. And the earlier chapters of Matthew are the Christmas stories, which we all know those stories, and we can save them for December, you know. So here we are in the middle of the Sermon on the Mount, which is Matthew 5, 6, and 7. And here Jesus says, "Do not think that I've come to abolish the law or the prophets. I've not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them." And he goes on to talk about how the law will not pass away and how everybody has to maintain and keep all these commandments. And finally he says, "Unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." Oh my, if our righteousness has to exceed that of the Pharisees, we may as well stop now, you know. But he says, I don't come to abolish these things, I come to fulfill them. And in the very next paragraph, he's going to talk about different laws and what they mean. And his pattern is going to be something like, "You've heard it said, but I say," and then he's going to tighten it up, but at the same time change it. And we'll see that happen, well, tomorrow. So he's come to fulfill the law. He's come as the thing the law was pointing to. He is God's chosen Messiah, and so he brings a new interpretation of the law. He brings a new style to the law, if you will. He comes and says, you know, I'm here to fulfill the law, which means I'm here to show you how the law should be lived and what we should do as we live that law and in that law, through that law. So, for Jesus to come doesn't mean, oh, okay, we can forget the law, we don't have to obey any of that. It means that, and we say that, but it means that in particular ways. For Jesus to come doesn't mean, oh, okay, whatever you want to do is fine. It's more like, here I am, I've come, follow me, live the way I live, which involves obeying the law in a deeper and a different sense than you've understood it thus far. So we are called to obey, but not necessarily to obey the law as the way that Jewish people might, or the way that some people might if they're seeking to live according to the law in the Bible. We're instead called to live the law as Jesus did. And we'll look at that as we go on from day to day. For now, though, ponder what it means for him to be the fulfillment of the law and what that means in terms of his life and his activity, his actions. We will see as we go that many times he didn't give much credence to the notion that you should behave a certain way, and he seemed to reject some of the ritual laws that the authorities had at the time in favor of a different sort of ethic. And so we'll start looking at that, and we'll actually start tomorrow. So I'll see you then.